Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Ecclesiastes
With Brady Randall.
Today I want to hone in on verses 8 and 9 that we looked at briefly yesterday. And this is what we read. As no one has the power over the wind to contain it, so no one has the power over the time of their death. As no one is discharged in time of war, so wickedness will not release those who practice it. This is a really sobering truth, and all of us would be wise to contemplate it. I know that it might not be the first thing in your mind as you've come listening to this podcast. You might be looking for a small nugget of wisdom, a little encouragement, and then here comes some blabbermouth telling you that no one has the power over their death. But this isn't a blabbermouth. This is most likely King Solomon, the wisest person who ever lived, and the message, in the same way that we have no control over the wind, we have no control over the day of our death. At the time of this recording is a day of snow squalls in western Pennsylvania, and I have an odd obsession with keeping a clean blacktop driveway. I want to see the black of the pavement. And it feels like every time that I've shoveled, the sun has come out, it's gotten dry, and then 10 minutes later a squall comes. And within minutes, a huge wind whips up, drops another half inch of snow to what has already been laid down. I couldn't have predicted that, and humans can't always know the way the wind is coming. In the same way, neither can we know the hour of our death. And thus, we should always be ready for it. I can't tell you the number of conversations that I've had with people who have lost loved ones, especially with parents who have lost children, often in tragic moments, sickness, car accidents, and all of a sudden, they're gone. I spoke with a man recently who is not a Christian, and his son died tragically in an automobile accident where the driver of the vehicle was speeding or potentially even racing. And this father was absolutely beside himself, not only because of the unimaginable horror that your 17-year-old son, who has the rest of his life in front of him, is dead, but he began to have extreme guilt because he thought he could have prevented this. What if he had acted on his hunch and went to pick him up that night? What if he had convinced him not to get in the car? What if he'd been more stern about not having been out with this kid in the first place, and now he's gone? What do you say to someone in that moment? Maybe you've been there yourself, and maybe you've lost someone that you love and you feel partially responsible. Or if not responsible, at least like you could have done something to prevent it. Or maybe that's not been your situation, but instead, you're someone who devotes all of your time in prolonging your own life. You try and do all the right things you know to do. You take all the right supplements. You eat all the right foods. You exercise every day. You have plenty of water, convinced that this will make you live until a ripe old age. And this is good wisdom to an extent. This is good doctoring and science. What we put into our bodies matters. And exercising is good for the heart and lungs. But lest we think we control the ultimate day of our death, we do not, as the teacher says, as he points out in these verses. David says something similar in Psalm 139:16. He said, this is King David who wrote many of the Psalms. He said, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Do you hear that? You're the creator, the God of the universe. You knew and you know the hour that we will enter this life and the hour that we will leave at our death. All of our days. Nothing that we can do can ultimately stop it. But this is not just fatalism or something ultimately to be defeated about. Just the opposite. Your life is not happenstance and it's not random. Who or what else would you want to determine the day of your death rather than God himself? There is no such thing as chance. He doesn't want you to wait to see how history unfolds. He unfolds history, including the role that you and I play in it. So my encouragement for you today is to contemplate the day of your death. Prepare for it now. Know that you will one day stand and give an account to your Creator, to your Maker, and you can meet him either as judge or father. And if you trust in Jesus, you can know that whenever that day is, today or tomorrow or 100 years, you will be ready because you know the author of life who offers eternal life to you today.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.